Good evening, my friends, and welcome back once again to your Monday night. Yes, it's Monday night, and what does that mean? Hey. It means one of two things. It's either Avengers Pretenders or 2 weeks, 2 Ewoks in the park. And this week, welcome back to Ewoks in the park. Yeah, I'm the dumb Ewok wearing the cowboy hat. He's the bald Ewok, the one and only Sully. Tonight we are doing an overview of seasons 1 and 2 of Bad Batch. Why? Because next week we start talking about season 3. So do me a favor, grab your favorite adult beverage or whatever it is you want to drink, something to munch on, sit back in that beanbag chair, kick your feet up, relax, and enjoy the show. Sully, it's all yours.
Oh, I thank you, sir. Hello, everybody, and welcome to 2 Ewoks in the Park. Why not? We're having a good time. Say, hey, let's just keep things rolling. We already did Marvel. Let's go into Star Wars, because yay. And I wish I had thought about this one for 2 Ewoks in the Park a couple of years ago when the Bad Batch first came out. But season 3 is the final season of the Bad Batch, which means,
I tell you what, they've got it set up really freaking good.
oh yeah,
For an awesome season in season 3.
oh yeah, yeah.
The setups.
And that's
damn.
And that's the thing. It's like, you know, when it comes down to it,
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost, if you guys have not seen the Bad Batch yet, shame on you. Just shame on you until, like, the cows come home. And that's what and I mean that in a very nice way. Shame on you. But it's okay, because when it comes to the Bad Batch, that actually came from the Clone Wars. We first are introduced to Clone Force 99, the mutants of the clones, so to speak.
The malfunctioning clones.
If you want to put it that way, sure.
Well, yeah, that's the way they put it.
Yes,
you know.
That is the way they put it, and that's okay. And the reason that they're malfunctioning clones is because even though they are clones, they basically have superpowers. To an extent. And what I mean by that is they're defective. They're defective clones. They didn't come out right. They didn't cook long enough, that type of thing.
Well, what it is their inhibitor chip is not working the way it's supposed to.
Well, but that's later, though.
Okay.
I'm talking about when they were first introduced as Clone Force 99, the Bad Batch.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Gotcha.
And for those that don't know, the Bad Batch consists of, I believe, 5 originals. 5 originals. And
5 original members, yeah.
yes, 5 original members.
Can you name them?
I can. Because there's Hunter, there's Wrecker,
Mm-hmm.
there's Crosshair, there's Tech.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember who the 5th was. Omega wasn't the original 5th one.
Right.
As a matter of fact, it was Echo.
Echo.
Well, Echo wasn't originally a Bad Batch. He reunited with the Bad Batch and became a part of the Bad Batch, but he wasn't an original member. However, season 1...
Well, for Bad Batch, he is.
Right. For the Bad Batch in season 1, he is. Because they are... with Echo, and I'll just use Echo as an example. Echo was originally a clone who was held captive during the Clone Wars,
Mm-hmm.
and they basically blew him up, cut him up, made him part cyborg, so they could plug him into a machine, so the separatists could get an upper hand on the Republic. That's how Echo came to be. And they saved him. Yay! They saved Echo. Woohoo! So, yeah. Not exactly an original member, but we go with it because he's now technically defective.
Right.
Hunter is exactly that. He's a hunter. He can track anything, anytime, anywhere. He's the one you want to lead the team because he's the one that's going to get you where you need to be. Wrecker, he's the muscle, clearly. He also likes to blow things up.
This is kind of like a Star Wars version as far as the team goes.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a Star Wars version of like maybe Ocean's 11, you know, where they had specific individuals for specific jobs. This is what you do. This is what you, and that's kind of what it reminds me of when you look at them, because all 5 of them had one specific thing that they were superb at.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and they were good at everything else. It's just like the Special Forces and Rangers. Everybody in each team for the Special Forces and Rangers has specific skills.
You have
tracking,
one job.
Explosives, weaponry, escape and evasion, all those kind of things. And it's the same thing with this. It's really, really cool.
You have one job, just the one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't mess it up.
This is your main job. You can do everything else. You can fight. You're good at medical. You're good at
Yes.
It's a jack of all trades and a master of one.
Or a master of none.
Kind of thing, What?
Or a master of none. But in this case,
it would be a master of one.
Yeah. So from there we have Tech, who is obviously good with computers. He's the one that you want to be you want on your good side when it comes to hacking things and getting information out.
Yeah, don't piss him off because your bank account's going to get emptied real quick.
Absolutely. As for Echo, he's the one that you want to be able to have tap into computers as well. He can't decipher things, but he can pull things. He can bring things up, maps, information, you name it, he can find it, which is good. Tech is the one that goes, let me fix this, let me do this, this is how we're going to do it. Oh, by the way, here's some new toys, that type of thing.
Well, I can hack into the mainframe and reroute the troops to go this way and make this elevator go down instead of up and sideways instead of, anyway, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And then, of course, we have Crosshair. Now, Crosshair, he's the sniper.
I hate Crosshair, but I love him because of his weaponry abilities.
Yes, he's a marksman. He's the one that you definitely want somewhere up in the mountains with a nice sniper rifle ready to help out at a moment's notice. And if you don't have that, not good for your plan. Well,
yeah, no.
That's the Bad Batch. When the series first starts, Order 66 has happened. The clones have already turned. The Empire is around. Darth Vader is there. But we see a little bit of a glimpse of what happened to them with Order 66.
Right.
And how they started seeing clone troopers starting going after the Padawans and the other Jedi. And they actually save a Jedi that just so happens to be in Star Wars Rebels. Haha. Everything's linked together. In Dave Filoni we trust. Amen. So, anyway,
I can't argue. I just can't.
I mean, I'm just putting it out there, and Dave Filoni we trust. But from there, they don't want to be a part of the Empire. They love their brothers. They think of them as family because they are. They share all the same genetics. And
Well, they're clones.
well, yes, they're clones of Jango Fett.
Yep.
A clue. Ha. So they're all brothers. All those clones to them are brothers. Even though they're the defective ones, they're all there. And because of their mutations, like JT said earlier, their inhibitor chip that's in their head malfunctioned. So they weren't just going in and killing all the Jedi and everything like that because it didn't register in their heads. Hey, you got to do this. So once that happened, they became fugitives of the Empire and went into hiding.
Yeah.
To an extent, they went into hiding, and
yeah.
And this is really where the series is kind of taken off because they are told they need to go back to Kamino, which is their home world. Everybody remembers Kamino, the fight between Obi-Wan and Jango Fett, and all the clones were there. And that's where they run into Omega.
Yeah, she kind of seeks them out.
Well, for good reason.
Yeah,
for good
because they were different.
When if you think about it, now with this show, Omega is technically the one and only female clone. So, yeah, she's technically a defective clone. She's technically a member of the Bad Batch. Okay?
And we find out later why she is so valuable.
Yes. But the other thing is she's also an unmodified clone. However,
oh, by the way, I'm going to stop you real quick. I want to say hi to everybody that's hanging out in the chat room with us tonight.
oh yes, hello.
We have Lady Death, a.k.a. Nakaya. She is with us. And our good friend Laserman, a.k.a. Mr. Ian from Canada, is with us as well.
What up?
He said, Bad Batch, I can get behind that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm all for it, especially with this.
Hells yeah. Hells yeah.
And honestly, I'm hoping really great things come from season 3. I mean, I'm already in the middle of watching it, and my God, it's amazing. But at the same time, with this episode, I don't want to give too much away because we're just doing a recap of everything that's happening between seasons 1 and season 2. And right. I feel bad because JT didn't get to finish watching all of season 2. But he did mention to me, what episodes do I need to watch before we do the show tonight? And I said to him, as many as you can. But if you have to, watch the last 1 to 2 episodes of the season and you will be semi caught up on what's going on.
Yeah, I would. Kay, let's put it this way. Kay is getting into Bad Batch.
Nice.
So, we've watched all of season 1 and a couple episodes into season 2, and then the last episode and a half, all of 16, but we only got through part of 15 because of my daughter.
Understand.
She called.
understandable. But at least you know
we're going
what
to go
happened.
back,
Yeah, you know what happened.
over this next week.
And I obviously there's going to be spoilers, but it's interesting. Wants to know if we're going to be doing Shogun? Probably not. I haven't watched it yet, but
Yeah, I want to check that one out too. It looks really, really good.
if we do, we'd have to come up with a different name for the podcast.
Two dumbasses in chairs, or two dumbasses with computers.
That could also potentially work. But yes, we would have to come up with a different show because we don't want to confuse Marvel and Star Wars and all that good stuff with everything that we've already got going on. So yeah, we possibly don't know yet. JT and I will talk about it. But
Yes.
back to the Bad Batch and back to where we are. So those are your characters. Now, all of season 1, very dramatic because the clones, especially Order 66 and everything, they had to report back to Camino, and they're like, why? They're just gonna, decommission us and do whatever, which
Right.
is what the Emperor was doing. He wanted to sever ties with the clones. Let's get rid of them. Done. I have more important things to do. And oh my God, the first season alone, it kept you going.
Intense is a nice way, is a very tame way of putting it.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with you on that because it's amazing what they can do. And a good portion of it is them on Camino. They're going through, they're doing what they need to do. They're meeting Omega. Omega is sitting with them at lunch, and they're like, what are you doing? That type of thing.
Starting food fights.
Food fights. Yep. Food fights are good. You never know. Listen, everybody loves a good food fight. But this is the whole part of them seeing exactly what the Empire is all about. And at first, they're kind of like, oh, yeah, I want nothing to do with it. But Crosshair is saying, no, I'm a soldier. I need to do what I'm told.
Soldiers follow orders.
Good soldiers follow orders. Yes, exactly. And you hear that quite often throughout the season.
Yeah.
And this is where we see the Bad Batch starting to separate and go their separate ways. Because Crosshair wants to continue to be a part. That's all he knows is fighting. It's all he knows.
And fighting and following orders. And what brings it to a head is they are purposely sent out on a mission.
Yes.
To take down some rebels. And, they're told it's just rebels, just, kill everyone.
Yep, kill them all.
And they get there, and it's a few rebels and a bunch of women and children. And, Hunter and Echo and them are like, no, we don't kill women and children.
Yeah. We don't.
And Crosshair's like, this is where it all came to a head. Because Crosshair's like, no, we follow orders. This is what we are here to do.
Right.
And, that's pretty much where the split happened.
And Hunter's like, no, you dummy. We don't do that. We've never done that. That's not what we're supposed to do. And that's when they start butting heads and they start fighting amongst themselves. But Tech, Wrecker, even Echo, they're like, whoa, hang on a minute. Now, this is before they kind of knew about the inhibitor chip. They were just starting to learn about it from being back on Camino and doing all these, different missions and whatnot. And it's interesting how fast Hunter turned against the Empire. It was just one of those things where you're like, okay, he's in charge. Wow. And he proved that he was in charge. And they had to continue to act as if they were told what to do every single time. So it's a different take, and I love it. I love the take of, this isn't just your normal run-of-the-mill disobedience type of thing. This is everything that they've already gone through with the Clone Wars as the Bad Batch, and now. And they even get to the point where, I forget the general's name. It's been so long since I've watched season 1. Actually, I think Admiral Tarkin was there on the planet too.
Tarkin is one of them.
Yeah, and he was in charge. He was basically saying, "Hey, we're gonna test you people and see what's happening." And he would put them through vigorous tests, not just Clone Force 99, but all the clones.
Right.
To see who they needed to decommission and move away from. Most of the clones were very obedient, and they did whatever they needed to do. Omega didn't have an inhibitor chip. She was a female version of Jango Fett, but I still think we haven't seen her full potential as of yet.
Right.
And if the only thing that we've learned so far is that she's very adaptive to what they're teaching her against their wishes. But it was interesting to see how they were going through and showing all the death and destruction and showing their feelings about things. Hunter, if you think about it, really got hit the most out of it.
Yeah, I mean, being the one in charge, anything that happens within your squad, or within, in this case, within your team, it hurts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it certainly does. And we get to the point where they escape. Only while they're escaping, Crosshair is getting tested on. They test his inhibitor chip, they enhance it, they make him super obedient and turn him against his crew. And they leave Camino and they bring Omega with them because they don't want Omega in the wrong hands. Because they even say, there's something about this girl.
Would you stop? Sorry.
Damn cat. The damn cat. So the whole first season is them basically being on the run from the Empire. They're taking mercenary jobs just to get by in the galaxy.
And getting robbed big time.
But they meet a lot of interesting characters along the way. Like, Fennec Shan. Ming-Na Wen, who's not only a Disney princess, since she did the voice of Mulan, but she is also a bounty hunter. And, oh, by the way, a Marvel character too. Score. Trifecta.
Right. Well, and then you had your favorite bounty hunter, the
Boba Fett.
Where's the hat? No, where's the hat?
Oh, you mean
The
Cad Bane?
Cad Bane. That's
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh yeah, Cad Bane. But we also, we also see Jabba the Hutt.
Mm-hmm.
We see Jabba the Hutt. We see Bib Fortuna, also for Jabba the Hutt. The Rancor. They help
Right.
Jabba get the Rancor. I mean, hello. They're tying
That
everything
was awesome.
together, which is great. They run into Captain Rex, which we've seen Rex
Mhm.
before.
Right.
Cad Bane.
We see him multiple times during season 1.
Yeah. And a lot of references to Jango Fett because, they're clones. They're clones. We see the trouble that they're going through in order to continue to move throughout the galaxy untouched.
Well, just to survive.
Well, yes.
Yeah, just because I mean now they're under the service of
Come on, you can do it. You can do it.
Lizard Lady's the only thing I can think of. The name's failing me.
Her name is Sid.
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 See, it's the easy ones I can't figure out.
The hard ones you can remember until you're blue in the face.
Well, I mean, I remembered Fennec Shan's name right off the bat. When I saw her, I'm like, oh, I remember her, hon?
I know that person there.
But
I mean, they're talking about her.
And the cool thing that you really see in season 1, is one, the group becoming even tighter.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, you wouldn't think that you could be tighter than a group of people that have gone through combat together.
Yes.
And survived and lost friends and lost buddies and everything else. But you see that, but you also see them come together and learn about being human.
Yeah.
And about caring for a small child, about, learning how to get by in the real world.
Absolutely.
Because up to that point, the only thing they have ever known from the time that they were a child all the way till now is military service. They've been trained in military service from the time they were hatched from the test tube.
Yep.
Till, up until the beginning of this. So it's really neat to see their progress as humans. I mean, granted, yes, they are clones, but they're still making progress that most clones won't have because they're having to deal with an entirely different set of circumstances.
Yes.
And Hunter starts to realize, hey, I really need to care and look at all the factors of, take my military training of how to set up for a mission and this and that, and how to consider all these things. And I have to take that and translate it into getting by in the normal world.
Yeah.
And be on the run at the same time. And their growth.
With the kid, mind you.
Yeah. Their growth through season 1 and what I've seen of season 2 is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It really, really is.
And you also have to remember during this time, Crosshair is hunting them down.
Mm-hmm.
So not only are they on the run from the Empire, but now their brother is against them. And they're training Omega to be more of a part of the team because that's what Omega wants. She doesn't want to just stay at the ship. She wants to help her brothers.
Yep.
So they're teaching her. They're teaching her how to be a warrior. They're teaching her how to plan, be strategic. I have a feeling we have not seen the last of Omega no matter what happens in this next season.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. The cool thing is it's revealed towards the end of season 1. I want to say in the last 2 or 3 episodes, probably the last 2, that Omega was there when Bad Batch was born.
Yep.
So Omega is older than all of them.
Yes, she's just an unaltered clone that will grow normally.
Right.
Because,
And, so that was amazing to me.
well, that, and because the other thing is they have their genetics altered, they will grow old faster.
Yep.
Now, since they're the Bad Batch, that might not work out so well, but we don't know. But
Right.
we get all the way up to the point where they we're seeing familiar faces. They're going through missions, they're getting into trouble and out of trouble. They're doing what they need to do. But now they have to return to Camino because Hunter is taken. Mostly because he did what he needed to do and moved on. And we actually see the destruction of Camino, where the Empire is doing the whole no loose ends. We don't want loose ends. It's time to go. They've evacuated all critical people, you name it, and they lure the Bad Batch
they've
there.
kidnapped. They've kidnapped.
Yes.
The lead science officer.
Yeah.
They kidnapped the people that were still of service to them.
Yes.
Which, typical Empire move there. Hey, you're still worth something. Come with me.
Sure.
You're not. Go over there.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing. So definitely the Empire sticking to what the Empire does, especially if you look back to son of a bitch. What was it? Mandalorian season 2.
Yes.
It's the same example where they took the people that were useful to them and then destroyed the city. Just, open fire on it until there was nothing left.
And that is where we also start to see a difference in Crosshair as well.
Well, Omega saves his ass.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. Get into that. Yeah. multiple times he saved her ass.
But with but with the destruction of Tapoka City, which is the main holding area for all the clones, as that's sinking, yes, Omega saves Crosshair, but Crosshair also saves the Bad Batch. And at that point in time, that's when he goes, okay, bye. See ya.
Well,
I'm done.
But Hunter did the right thing.
Yes.
Because at the end of season 1, after they've all made it back up onto the platform where the ship is, after Crosshair saves Omega and the robot.
Yeah, the robot.
They're standing there.
AZI-3.
I'm sorry?
AZI-3, that's the robot. AZ.
Yeah. AZ. I'll just call him Az. They're standing there on the platform and Hunter goes to Crosshair and says, look, we're still brothers. The problems that we've had, we can work past. We want you to come with us.
Yep. And he can't.
And Crosshair, he could have. But
yes.
The inhibitor chip, basically. Well, actually, not even that, because he did reveal before that the his inhibitor chip had been out.
Well, yeah.
It had been out for years. That's why the side of his skull is all, crackly looking and stuff.
Well, it wasn't years. It wasn't years. The
PT Salty. I want to say hi to PT Salty because it says this better be good.
Well, we're talking Star Wars, man. Of course it's good. And he says,
some Star Wars Bad Batch.
And he also says, I got ads. Well, you can get rid of those ads by subscribing to our channel. You can subscribe for free with Twitch and Amazon Prime, or
Mhm.
$4.99, $9.99, or $24.99, whichever suits your fancy, and get rid of those ads for good. Yay! Because we got
Yay.
ad revenue. We'd like
I
to
mean,
make something.
I've been subscribing for 45 months to the channel and never paid a dime.
There you go. There you
So.
go.
He says, I'm so poor. Trust me, we know.
Yeah.
But, he
Everybody.
gives them the option. Hunter gives Crosshair the chance, the opportunity to stay with his brothers.
Yep.
And Crosshair basically says, no, I can't.
Right.
I won't do that. I am a good soldier.
Yep.
I do what I am told. But if you look at the way he glances back, he doesn't turn his head, but he glances back as the ship is taking off. You can tell that part of him wants to go because those are his brothers.
Yeah.
Those are the people that he has been through hell and back multiple times.
For sure.
Even though he's soldier brainwashed, basically.
Well, yeah.
Part of him still wants to be with his brothers. Which is an interesting side to see from Crosshair.
Absolutely.
Because you haven't seen that at all in season 1. Because once he went to the other side, he was gung ho to the gills in trying to take out the remaining members of Bad Batch.
Oh, well, yeah.
I want to thank Salty for subscribing at Tier 1. Thank you, sir. Great to have you with us.
Man. See? Twitch.
That's some good shit right there.
You did it at Tier 1. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I really do. The
You're
only
awesome.
reason why we don't have alerts and everything is because podcast. But thank you. We do get the notifications every single time. Appreciate it.
Now we're bastards.
Score.
Yes.
So again, we're just doing a recap of the Bad Batch seasons 1 and 2. Obviously, we missed the boat with those for 2 Ewoks in the Park because we were doing everything else under the sun when it comes to the podcast and Venture Pretenders. It's very hard to keep up these days, especially since we're, I believe this Wednesday will be episode 5 of Bad Batch season 3.
I think so.
Because
I think so.
a couple of weeks ago, they released the first 3 episodes, and there's going to be, I believe, 16 total. 15 or 16 total, but some of those may be longer episodes. But season 2, wow. Season 2, they're on the run from the Empire, but they're not. It's more of the Empire thinks they're dead because Camino went boom. It's gone.
Okay.
They think they. Which one?
Sorry, episodes 6 and 7 of Bad Batch season 3 come out on the 13th.
Wow, they're bringing them both out on the 13th?
Both of them are out on the 13th. Then they go individual episodes for 2 weeks, and then another double, and then it singles through the rest of the season.
Wow.
Or rest of the season. There's 15 episodes
Yikes.
total.
Oh, it's crazy. But hey, don't worry. Each one of those episodes will have their own episode right here on 2 Ewoks in the Park. This, with season 2. Season 2 is a completely different turn. Now, we still see some familiar faces. We see mention of Count Dooku, who, dead. We know he's dead. Anakin cut his head off. But that's where the season starts, where they take a mission where if they get this war chest, it'll help finance their future and be on their own, and they'll be able to do whatever they need to do. But obviously, nothing goes their way.
It usually doesn't.
I mean, when it comes to this type of thing, it doesn't go their way at all. And that's okay.
Right.
That's okay because it helps build up what's going on throughout the rest of the season. And while that's happening, we see multiple storylines going on. We see the Bad Batch doing what they need to do, but we also see a very interesting storyline with Crosshair and how Crosshair is still a part of the Empire. He's running his own team. He's doing what he needs to do in order to be obedient, a good soldier. Okay?
Right.
We see familiar faces like Commander Cody. If you don't remember who Commander Cody is, he was Obi-Wan Kenobi's right-hand man, right-hand clone. He's the one, Commander Cody. And him and Crosshair and their team are basically going up against former separatists, trying to pull them out, to take people hostage. You know, you're part of the Empire now, that type of thing. Returning to, we see Coruscant numerous times on this. And we also see on Coruscant clones that are homeless. They have no rhyme or reason. They've been kicked out of the Empire. So we're seeing all the ramifications of the Empire doing what they need to do to get rid of the clones. We also see some senators speaking up for the clones. Hey, they're people too. That type of thing. And it's interesting the way things are playing out. At first, I thought season 2 was going a bit slow. But then I realized why they were doing it.
They had to.
Well, yes, they certainly had to, because they had to introduce the new bad guy.
Yep. And I mean, there was a lot of things that they had to transition from, you know, the straight out combat.
Sure.
You know, the end of the war transition. You got your rebels. You've got your, you know, in this case, the Bad Batch, for, you know, defective clones. You got to figure out, what are we going to do with the clones?
Yeah, well,
you know, because we're disbanding everything, and you know that's why they destroyed, you know, their place where they were born.
Yeah,
and everything. So you know, a lot of things that they had to do that they had to do kind of quickly in order to be able to get where they wanted to get by the end, by episode 16.
Oh, sure. And it's interesting to see the change that Commander Cody had. Now, mind you, Commander Cody is the one who attacked Obi-Wan, thought he was dead, you know, still thinks he's dead. But even for him, he starts to question whether or not the Empire is good or bad. And that's when he becomes a deserter of the Empire, which means now he's going on the side of the rebels and the Rebel Alliance and the rebellion. The rebellion. But we also start to see the gang starting to move away from Sid and being on their own. Because that's essentially what they want. They want to be on their own. They want to live their own life. They don't want to have anybody telling them what to do, so on and so forth. And at this point in time, you really don't know what's going to happen until we start seeing some more familiar faces, like a Wookiee Jedi. Ha-ha! Gunji made his first appearance in the Clone Wars, which is yay, because he was trained by Ahsoka. Wasn't her apprentice, but was trained by her. A clue. There are Jedi out there that have survived, yes. But this is the time of the Empire, which means there are more cartels popping up. There are more evildoers popping up. There are more bad things happening across the galaxy, which has always been going on. We know this. We know there's different crime syndicates and whatnot. But it's the Jedi that are in hiding. It's the Jedi that are trying to stay low, which is really just what the Bad Batch wants to do. They want to lay low. They want their own life. They want to be somewhere where the Empire can't find them or touch them. But at the same time, we have the Imperial Senate going, we need to recruit people. We need soldiers. We need stormtroopers. We need these people. But at the same time, there's Imperial senators going, wait a second. What's going on here? We see Rex pop up from time to time. And then we see some Star Destroyers and the man himself, Emperor Palpatine. Ooh. We'll get into him. But it's one of those, it was cool how they did it, because we've all seen the Imperial Senate and the Senate of the Republic. It's that big room that Palpatine and Yoda fought in, okay? There's your room. All the planets and moons that have people and senators that are under the Republic / Empire, that's where they go to bitch, complain, and talk and do politics. But it was so cool seeing Emperor Palpatine just come up out of the floor on his stand and goes, we need to do this no matter what.
All right.
We need to pass the defense recruitment bill and make it into law. And when that happens, the Bad Batch leaves, but Echo decides he's going to stay behind with Rex and fight for the clones, fight for a better future for them.
Right.
Noble. So now we're down to Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, and Omega.
We started with 5, or actually we started with 5, then went to 6. Now we're down to 4.
With 6. Well, started with 5, went to 6 with Omega, lost Crosshair, and now Tech is gone too. Not Tech, Echo. Echo's gone too. But again, Echo was never really a part of the Bad Batch. But he was. He went, yeah, I'll hang out with you guys. Let's do what we need to do.
I'll fight with you.
Yeah. I'll do what come on, let's go have fun. I mean, listen, if it wasn't for Tech and Echo and all the others, they would never have been able to go in and actually fix that inhibitor chip that was starting to affect them to begin with.
Right.
Because both Hunter and Wrecker were starting to get, and even Tech had his moments, but Tech was able to do it faster for himself and everybody else to help them.
Right. Well, it was nice in season 1 that they were able to remove the inhibitor chips. You know, it was cool that because they ran into Rex, and Rex was the one that told them about it.
Yes.
You know, they were in the Imperial junkyard basically.
Yeah.
With a bunch of, you know, wrecked Star Destroyers.
Yep.
And, you know, they had the medical bay there, and they were able to go in and remove the inhibitor chips from everybody, which, cool. We know it's not going to come back and haunt them, we hope, in the future.
Yes.
Stuff.
Well, at this point in time, we also have the other bad guy, Dr. Hemlock. Oh, Dr. Hemlock.
Yeah, don't like this guy.
No, but man, is he evil. Oh,
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, Palpatine is evil. You know, um, the freaking general.
Admiral Tarkin.
Yeah, Tarkin is a bad guy. He's evil too.
Well, yes.
But Hemlock is
Psychotic.
not even psychotic.
I would say he's psychotic.
He is monstrously evil.
Yes.
I mean, he is more evil in my mind than Palpatine and Tarkin together.
Well, and that's the
You
thing,
know.
because the Emperor is wanting to do different cloning projects
Mm-hmm.
and needs Nala Se from Camino, who helped with, the clones to begin with their research.
Right.
Now, you can kind of put two and two together with this, because at this point in time, the fact that they're trying to duplicate the efforts for the clones, we know just from watching all the Star Wars movies, we know just from watching the Clone Wars, we know just from watching The Mandalorian, that the cloning is not for soldiers, but to keep a certain someone alive. I wonder who that certain someone could be. Someone that we may have already seen a clone of. Any takers? Anyone? Guesses?
Nope.
No guesses for you? No,
I'm
really?
just gonna sit here.
Well, one of those clones, obviously, was Emperor Palpatine,
Mm-hmm.
which we've seen the clone already, but we've also seen clones of Moff Gideon as well. Huh. A clue, Sherlock. Way to go, Watson. You've done it again. We know they're trying to come up with cloning so they can keep themselves in power, especially the Emperor. It's canon. It's been in the books, the comics, now the movies. It's there. We know it's there. We also see the arc of Crosshair, where he is now starting to second guess his role in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Especially being assigned to Lieutenant Nolan on a ice planet, kind of similar to Hoth, but it's not. It's Barton 4.
It's like being being in Russia. When you get on Putin's bad side, where does he send you?
Yes.
The Arctic.
Well,
we're gonna send you to the ice.
Well, this mission that he's on, Lieutenant Nolan told Crosshair and a clone, Mayday, to recover some cargo that they needed. And from that cargo, it's stormtrooper armor, weaponry. We see an avalanche that basically kills Mayday.
Well, and one thing that we didn't mention,
yeah,
that I think is kind of important from season 1, is in one of the episodes, the comment was made that they've upgraded their armor.
Yes. But have they?
Well, it's definitely different than the original Stormtrooper armor.
Well, you had Clone Trooper armor and then Stormtrooper armor.
Right. But their armor is different. Not by a lot, but it is different. And come to find out, these people or these things that they're fighting are not clones.
Right.
The people that they are fighting are actually volunteer soldiers who have pledged their lives to the Empire.
Are they really volunteers, though? Are they? I mean,
Supposedly.
They
Right.
say they're volunteer, but are they?
That was just like everybody, most of the guys that fought for Hitler in World War II. They were volunteers.
Sure they were. Said
But
no one ever.
But that's the thing is, they're bringing these guys in mass numbers to replace the clones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big time.
But they've got upgraded armor. Their tactics and everything are different. Not much better than what the stormtroopers had before.
Yeah.
Because they still get their asses kicked, but I thought that was something that we needed to get out, so that people don't think it's sudden change. This was actually something that started happening in season 1.
Yes. Well, this is also the tipping point for Crosshair because of the death of Mayday and the cargo being covered from an avalanche, he shoots and kills Lieutenant Nolan right on the spot before he passes out and loses consciousness.
Good move.
And then he wakes up in an Imperial prison. Well, an Imperial operating chamber is what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they took him, and now he's a prisoner. From here, we're seeing Echo rejoining the Bad Batch. They help save a island from a tsunami, which is awesome. And they decide to choose that as their home base. Mostly for Omega. Because there are kids living on this island. She can play, she can be a kid, but she can also still be a part of Clone Force 99, which is what she wants. But she also wants her brothers to have that life. And because of everything that's been going on, this is when Echo says, oh, by the way, there's something called an Advanced Science Division, and we need to stop them. Because they're doing some sketchy shit. It's the best way to put it.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Enter Dr. Hemlock again, because, Dr. Hemlock, he's trying to replicate the cloning from the Caminos. Only
I just thought of something, and I hate to cut you off here, but something tells me there's no coincidence in his name.
Yeah, no.
Because Hemlock is a deadly poison.
Yes. Interesting, isn't it?
Go figure.
Interesting, isn't it?
Things that make you go, wait a minute. Light bulb.
Yes. Well, the gang decides to sneak onto the base where there's a nice little summit being held. And the Bad Batch runs into Saw Gerrera. We've seen that person before numerous times. Not just in the Clone Wars, but in Rogue One. A lot of episodes in the Clone Wars, by the way. He's more of a radical New Republic, Rebel Alliance guy, okay? He's got no problem shooting first and ask questions later because he doesn't like bad guys. Okay?
And usually he doesn't bother asking the questions.
Nope.
Anyway.
Just shoot and boom, done. Well.
Here we go.
He's in the process of getting to top level Imperial officers, and unfortunately an alarm goes off. So now everybody's like, okay, we got to get out of here. Let's move. And Gerrera also decides to blow the place up, leaving the Bad Batch to try and escape on a rail car and get back to their ship.
Which,
Which,
amazingly enough, gets really freaking hairy.
yeah. This last episode of season 2
Crazy.
was
It is freaking nuts.
and it's weird. Now, mind you, this is like the crescendo. Now we're starting to go downward. Okay, we're at the peak because we're at the end of season 2, and it's just going to go down from here, and it's all going to be good. I know it's all going to be good because this episode, whoa, just whoa, between the Bad Batch trying to get away, trying to protect Omega,
trying to protect themselves,
protect themselves, being betrayed by Sid. Yes, Sid betrays them because they left her.
Well, what she says is, there's always been heat on you guys, but you never brought it here.
Right.
Now you've brought it here, to my bar, to my home. I had to do what was best for, back to classic Sid, me.
Yep. Now, the other thing is, Tech sacrifices himself to save the team.
Rule 99.
Now, mind you, this is obviously an animated show.
But still,
this scene of him sacrificing himself really pulls at the heartstrings.
Oh, yeah. And then what makes it even more heartstring pulling,
yes,
is when Hunter has to try to explain to Omega,
yes,
what Tech did and why Tech did it.
Yep.
I mean, and totally understandable. I mean, it's like talking to a 12-year-old because she's all going, oh, hey, let's go back and get him, let's go find him, we don't leave our team behind. And we even see Wrecker wipe away a tear.
Yep.
As this is going on. I mean, how freaking ultimate is that?
And don't get me wrong, he's a big teddy bear to begin with, but man, don't piss him off because he'll freaking kill you. But
yeah,
that whole scene of Tech sacrificing himself to Sid betraying them to Hemlock capturing Hunter and Wrecker, forcing Omega to come out, only for her to be captured and brought to Mount Tantus, where she meets up with Nala Se and Crosshair. She sees that Crosshair is imprisoned. And then we see a character by the name of Emery Carr, who reveals to Omega that she's another clone. And
I am your sister.
So now we have 2 female clones. Now, for me, I don't fully agree that she is an actual clone. They do keep saying
she has yet to prove it.
Yeah, she's yet to prove that she's a clone. So, from there, that's really seasons 1 and 2 in a nutshell.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that got me the most really was
Tech falling.
Hunter sitting down, when they were talking to Omega and everything, and Wrecker had walked away. It was just them two. And Hunter's like, we've thought about it. We want to quit being soldiers.
Yes.
We're going to quit being soldiers. We're going to go to, I can't remember what planet he mentioned, but he's like, we figured this would be a great place to start. And, to develop ourselves as veterans, no longer as fighting soldiers. We don't want to fight anymore. And then he asked her if that's what she wanted. Does that sound like something you would want? And she agrees.
Yeah.
And then the shit with Sid happens. So the best laid plans, best laid plans never survive the first contact.
Now, I personally don't think Tech is dead.
Well, I kind of think the same thing. And the reason why is because what Hemlock did.
Yes.
In order to make Hunter give up.
Yes. Threw the goggles down.
He said, this was the only thing we could recover.
Yep.
And he threw Tech's goggles down in front of Hunter.
Which is why I
That's
don't
what made...
think he's dead. But he very well could be.
Yeah, I mean, some amazing things would have had to have happened for him not to have been dead.
Yes.
But at the same time, I think about the fact that, he severed the magnetic line that he was using to hold onto the car to try to climb back up to the car. But there were two giant metal pylons off to his side.
Yeah.
So...
But he also had
the opportunity was possibly there.
But
for some kind, maybe, something to happen for him to be able to save himself.
Yes.
But not escape serious injury that would take a while to recover.
Yes. I'm
personally hoping that we do see Tech in season 3.
It would be nice. Don't get your hopes
Ian,
up.
if it does, shut up.
Yeah. It would be nice. Don't get your hopes up.
No. But, it's back here, floating around.
Hey, and that's a good thing. So, obviously, season 3 is going to take place right after that, after Tech and Omega, Tech's death and Omega was captured. So, next week on Two Ewoks in the Park, we'll be tackling episode 1, maybe episode 2, depending on timing and notes and all that good stuff, because I know JT is going to have tons of questions. We may do 1 episode, we may do 2. They're only about 25 to 30 minute long episodes, so they're not long at all. At least to catch up a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But we will be starting episode 1, season 3, next week on Two Ewoks in the Park. In the meantime, we hope to see you tomorrow for the Sully Show. Yay!
We have a wonderful story from Coach Shadi that she is going to be sharing with us tomorrow.
Yes, she'll be most likely calling in and telling us all about the story, so it'll be great. I love her stories with her husband. He's awesome, and the two of them just make me laugh. They really do. They really get me. But we will see you guys tomorrow night for the Sully Show at 8 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Accidental Punch TV. Want to thank Salty for subscribing to the channel once again. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And we hope to see you tomorrow as well, because we know there's a whole time difference and all that stuff. So, with that being said, for the redneck, there he is. You can't miss him. Here, I'm the geek. And we will see you tomorrow for the Sully Show on Accidental Punch TV, and next week for Two Ewoks in the Park. Have a great night, everybody. And we will see you later. Yes, later.
No.